I'm going to give you the 3-step approach to actually build your own trading bot. Step 1, picking your venue. Firstly, you want to determine what you're trying to trade. Is it stocks or is it crypto? So here's the broader architecture for a trading bot, no matter if it's stocks or crypto. The brain is going to be your LLM. So in this case, Claude. You can also use GPT. So you're either using Claude Code on the newest model or you're using GPT's Codex on the newest model. That brain is responsible for holding and executing your strategy. The hands, what actually delivers the information to the exchange that's executing the trades, or you can think of it as a bridge, is the MCP server. That's the piece that actually enables Claude to place real orders on an exchange or a brokerage. And not every single brokerage has a connection, but there are a couple really good ones that I'll tell you today. For stocks, I personally use Alpaca because they have an MCP server, which makes this easy. And this video is not sponsored by anyone, by the way. These are just the best solutions that I've personally found. It's free. It has paper trading, which is amazing because you want to test this stuff out if you're learning on fake money. You don't want to go and blow real money and mess up a configuration. Once you're comfortable and once your strategy is working, then you move on to a bit of real money and then you keep leveling up. But essentially you sign up for an Alpaca account, you grab your API keys, you give Claude the API, and then it uses their inbuilt MCP. It might sound complex, but honestly, it's easier than it sounds. The prompt that I'll give you will make this super easy, and Claude will just guide you through the whole process. And that's the benefit of using a platform that has an inbuilt MCP, so you don't have to build your own. You're not actually coding a connection, you're just plugging it in. This gives Claude the capability to pull live prices from the exchange and execute trades based on your strategy. For crypto, it's the exact same concept. You want to go straight to a crypto exchange. There are so many: Binance, Blofin, Bybit, Pionex, and a lot of other exchanges now, for example, have an inbuilt MCP that you can use just like Alpaca. One thing on safety, you want to make sure your funds, especially if you're connecting it through an MCP using an API, that you actually create a sub account that only has a certain amount of funds that you're willing to give the bot access to. Step 2, you want to actually pick your strategy and define the feedback loop. So before any prompt, you need to actually define the strategy. Because remember, the bot is only as good as the parameters that it runs under. In the beginning, you want to start with a pretty simple strategy just to get used to the mechanics of running a trading bot. The best part is that you can actually just back test strategies now, especially now that Claude and TradingView actually have an MCP connection. You no longer have to do it manually on PineScript. You can just connect Claude to TradingView. I did a video on it. Go and watch it. That actually shows you how to set this up. And then you can just start backtesting any strategy. It'll tell you how much you would have made. So I'd recommend backtesting first, taking a strategy which looks to be reliable, and then using that strategy to start your trading bot experiment. And of course, you can just go back and forth with the AI about your trading style, your investment philosophy, what strategy you want to follow. For this video, I'll show you a very simple build that I'm using. It's essentially a moving average crossover. So if we see a fast average crossing above the slower average, that indicates that momentum is increasing. That is our signal to buy. If it crosses back below, we're going to sell. Obviously, over time, you want to create parameters across what time frames, adding in other conditions, and the AI will learn over time. But I'm just showing this to you as an example. Of course, we'll just swap in a better strategy later. So now that you have the idea, you can prompt Claude or GPT to build it. It'll define every interval. The bot will read its memory and check the market through the MCP, and it will apply your rule to open trades and obviously place paper trades in this example if it fires. So a bot essentially has 3 jobs. It sees the market, it decides whether it wants to execute, and then of course, if the parameters hit, it executes. You can see with this bot, it actually fired on the signal, but the trade loses. And then the same signal shows up again, and then it did the same trade again, but it loses again. This is because, and this is a common issue with bots, it has no memory, so it never kept score of what's working or critically reflected on why it's not working. So this right here is an example of a bot that doesn't remember its own trades. What I'll show you now, step 3, is going to give your bot real memory so it self-improves over time. This is the step that really matters, and we create this through a 2-file system. File 1 is going to be your ledger. It's going to log every single trade. It's going to show you what happened, when it happened, why it fired, and how it ended. And you'll actually be able to prompt and reflect on this data. The second file is going to be the learnings file. So when a trade closes, the bot writes itself one plain English lesson, so it lost on this setup, don't take it again without confirmation of XYZ. This really matters because every single time it trades, it's going to read the ledger and the learnings file And then if it makes a mistake again, it's going to add to it. So this is essentially giving the bot a brain that learns over time, just like a human does. But the best thing is the AI will never make a mistake. Once you train it and set hard rules, it'll stick to those rules. Now, obviously, I've got to make it clear, sometimes AIs do hallucinate. Sometimes it'll break its rules because these things aren't perfect, but having an understanding of how to set this up now is extremely beneficial. Now, for the more advanced people, 2 files is okay to start. That is a workable memory system, but you may want to consider building a cloud memory system on something like Supabase or Supermemory or Firebase, where your memory is actually stored on the cloud. So it's the exact same idea, but it's actually a database instead of just files. So it can hold thousands of trades and a much bigger ledger that will be less intensive for the bot to review. So that is how to build a real trading bot. I'll leave the prompt available below. It's in the WhatsApp community on the pinned link. And of course, if you want to keep leveling up your own trading and investing, subscribe to the channel, as I'll be bringing you the AI strategies that can help you stay at the forefront and the edge of the market. I'll see you in the next video. Have a lovely rest of your day. Peace out.